Hi guys, you should have already watched the video a little bit about James Rizzi. He is an artist that is famous for pop art pictures of birds and other crazy things. James Rizzi died in 2011, so you guys always ask me if he's still alive. This guy is not, but he was very famous for his cartoon fun drawings. So I thought this would be a really fun spring project for you guys. Hey guys, you should have watched a quick minute about James Rizzi, an American pop artist from Brooklyn, New York. And we are actually going to be making our own James Rizzi birds today. So these are the things you're going to need. Paper. I only have mine taped so it doesn't move around for you when I'm showing you the video. Water cup, paintbrush, a pencil, an oil pastel black one for your outlines, and watercolor. Alright, so first what we're going to do is we're going to start out by drawing our bird. James Rizzi birds, as you saw in the video, are a little silly looking. So we're going to start by drawing the enormous beak. So, enormous beak first. Let's see, it's like a cone. For an ice cream cone, you put a big scoop up here. And that's pretty much what you're going to do for its head. So its head is almost like an ice cream scoop. Alright, we're drawing with pencil just in case we make mistakes. We can erase it before we do our black outlines. Now for its body, it is just kind of a little bit of a U shape, but the end kind of comes out. This is where its tail is going to be. Make a little small curve for its tail. And I left room down here to make sure I have room for its feet. If you get too close, you're going to have really tiny feet. So draw two little lines and three little lines coming out for the bottoms of his feet. Okay? Now for his face, you want to give him two big eyes. James Rizzi birds always had giant eyes for some reason. Most of his pictures actually have eyes. Even like when he would draw a moon or a sun or a house, they normally had eyes, which is kind of silly. Okay, so for his eyes, I'm going to draw two circles. But I want them to touch, so I want to make sure I'm going to start right here next to this one. Draw two circles so they touch. Don't forget your pupils. Okay, and birds have little nose holes. And the beak is their mouth, remember. And I'm going to give them just a couple little feathers on its belly. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting. Oh, not painting. We're going to be doing oil pastel. We forgot that. The oil pastel, remember, it creates a barrier so that the paint can't escape. So whatever color we paint our background won't hopefully get on our bird. So I'm going to go over all my lines with oil pastel carefully, trying not to get that oil pastel super messy. And remember, I'm going super slow so that I stay on my line. So we don't want to see that pencil anymore. We want to cover it up. Okay, little feet. Now let's do his nose holes, his eyes, and his pupils. Alright, now this is the time you got to make sure that your name is on the back. If your name was not on the back, it's going to be kind of hard later once you have watercolor on here. So make sure that your name is on the back. Okay, so now you get to decide what color you want your bird to be. I think I want a blue bird. So I'm going to get my paintbrush wet, wiggle it around my water cup. Remember, we don't dump water into the cups. That just makes a mess and wastes watercolor. Now I'm going to paint everything but his eyes on his head. So remember, what I like to do is I go around the outside first. So that I'm creating another barrier. Even though that oil pastel creates a barrier, this is going to be another barrier so that the water color stays inside the lines. So you notice I kind of got some on the black, but it's not going out. Some more paint. Remember, if it starts to get really dry and it's not covering, see how it's starting to get a little drier? You might need a little bit more water and a little more paint. Very careful by his eyes. We don't want his eyes to be blue. We want them to stay white and bright. Keep going. carefully around his eyes and fill in the rest of his head. Alright. Now I'm going to paint his body the same color. Some more on the edges. And I want to think of, while I'm doing this, what color am I going to paint my background? I want my bird to stand out, so it should be a color that is a different, maybe because his body is blue and that's a cold color, that his background would be a hot color. Remember, hot colors are the first colors in the rainbow. So we've got, oops, I've just put mine in purple. Wash that out because we don't want to mix those colors up. Right here, it doesn't matter if it goes over the little pastel because it's the same color, but we want to keep that blue inside the lines. It's going to go in our background. Alright, he's pretty cute. Now, I'm going to decide if I want a hot color. I think it would be really cool to do red. So I'm going to get my paintbrush clean. Remember, if your water cup gets dirty, you can always wash it out, but this is okay for now. Not super gross. Wiggle it around in there. And now I'm going to paint everything in the background besides my bird. I want to keep my bird blue and my background red. We don't want any white spots. The only white spot we want to see is that bird's eyes. James Rizzi was famous for very bright colors. So if your red is really light, maybe you need a little more paint. There we go. Where you get a little bit on the table, you'll just have to wash it off with a wet paper towel or a sponge. Carefully going around the bird. Until you're all done. So I like to outline it slowly so I know that that's protected, my bird's protected. And then I can go a little faster when I get to outside, closer to the edge. So I am getting a little bit on the table, so I'll definitely have to wash that off when I'm done. So that the next person who sits here doesn't get a nasty piece of paper because it's covered in your colored paint. We wouldn't want that. Alright, almost done. Remember, mine's only taped so that it doesn't wiggle around for the video, but yours won't be taped to the table, so you're going to have to maybe hold it down a little bit so that it doesn't wiggle when you're painting. Alright, so got a nice bird, nice colors. Now I want to do one more thing. I think the background needs a little more to it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick another hot color, and I have yellow or orange, and I'm going to take a little bit of each of those colors, and I'm going to make little drips or polka dots in my background. Not my bird, just my background. My bird will stay blue. So if you see, the paint starts to move away and blend with my red. Oops, I put it in the red. We don't want to mix colors in our cups, just on the paper. So that's going to make some really cool speckles around my bird. You can see it's really blending over here. It's starting to do it over there. You could try it with yellow too. My yellow's a little dirty if someone was not cleaning their paintbrush after they went to the green. Let's see, it's kind of a green yellow. So I'm going to wash it out. If that happens, you can just put a little extra water in there and hopefully it works. Alright, it's kind of a yucky yellow, but it'll work. Like a gold. We're staying off the bird, just our background, until we have some really cool speckles in the background. Alright, so now we got a James Rizzi bird.